Welcome to my live. Appreciate y'all joining. I decided to do this live to discuss, so please comment, ask to join, whatever you want to do to be part of the conversation. But I wanted to discuss how to break into tech, but like the real answers, like the actual, real deal answers instead of all, I see a lot on social and around the industry right now, this fancy term or phrase, breaking into tech. And like, I just want to break that down, see what people's opinions are, give my own opinion about what the right answer is to that, because I think it's a little bit deeper than a lot of times it's being made out to be. And I think there's actually more ways to break into tech, quote unquote, than a lot of people kind of put out there, and so I want to have a discussion about it. And so raise your hand if you want to comment something. I'm new to this. I'm going to try to keep up with the comments and any requests to join or whatever. But other than that, man, I'm just going to keep talking. So until I get something like that. So how to get into tech, or how to break into tech. So I guess even from the start of when you think about how to break into tech, the way it's been put, it's not about trying to break into tech. To me, I think the terminology makes it seem really inaccessible, or there's some kind of trick to break into the tech industry. And then, what does breaking into tech or joining the tech industry actually mean? I think that's a very early place to start with it. And so what does it mean? So breaking into tech can mean a number of different things depending on what you're trying to do for you or, for everybody, really. Breaking into tech can mean that you start working at a tech company, a company that is considered tech. And you start working at that company, although you're not a technical person by trade or by profession, which is fine. And so I think some people kind of get wrapped up in I need to get all these technical skills in order to break into tech, to get that tech money, to be a part of the tech industry. No, you don't have to either right now have technical skills or, go and try to learn the technical skills to break into tech, quote unquote. You can go work for these tech companies if you're you're recruiting, your HR person, or you're a salesperson, or you're some other type, whatever skills you have now, they most likely can be translated to these tech companies or these companies that are part of the tech industry. They sell a technical product or service. So I think opening the mind, first of all, to breaking into tech from just thinking everybody's how do I break into tech? I gotta go learn all this stuff. Well, first take a step back and see if that's not what you're passionate about, see if there's another avenue that can get you into a technical company, which can either be the step you take to get into the tech industry and you just stay in whatever position you are, if you're a salesperson, support, whatever you are that can translate to a technical company. And there's lots of companies, not just the FANG, Google, and all of that. There's a lot of smaller companies that are in the tech space and tech industry that you're able to join. But you can also use that as a way, jumping into the industry through a different type of a non-technical role, but a technical company can be one way to break into tech, either to just get in the tech industry and get, the rewards of it's pretty lucrative industry. Or it can be a way for you to get in that technical company and then kind of parlay your way into a technical role, either through some training or mentorship or, some way to, get into a technical role through the company itself without having to directly try to learn the skills by yourself. And that kind of leads me to my second point of how to break into tech. If you're already in a company that just even has a tech department, looking at that as an option to break into tech as well before you get to these final options that most people talk about. So for instance, if you work, if you work at a Walmart or something something like that, all these companies, most of the companies now have technical departments because the world is moving toward, web. Hey, what's up, man? Web and internet services. Like all these companies need programmers. They need technical people. They need technical support. They need, all these different things. So, like, don't overlook the opportunities. Techie Apparel, what's up, man? Don't overlook these opportunities that could be at your own company right now. And that could be an easy way to get into tech. Now, you may have to do extra work. You may have to do work on top of your job. I've seen in the past where we've had, I've been on the technical team at my company now, and we had people that were interested in getting into, learning the program, and they started working. They work in their regular jobs, of course, too, but they started working with the technical team on like a volunteer basis and taking on small tasks and learning and talking to the dev team and getting some mentorship. They were given that opportunity, and that gave them enough kind of experience and confidence to like kind of push that desire in their head to keep learning and keep growing and keep moving. And they didn't end up joining our team, but they did end up going, starting an interview and going somewhere else based off of that experience. Like having that real experience made them interview a lot better. And in addition to their prep, they actually had like some form of real like interview prep based on working with our team through like a small capacity. And then I've even had people come to our team that were like on the support team, for instance. They knew about the product well, they knew technically the problems that customers would have, and they wanted to be on our team, and they just really worked hard to convince the leadership to say, hey, give me a shot as a junior dev. I want to make a team transition to this role, and just give me a shot. And they gave this person a shot, and I ended up working with this person for like 8-9 years. So it's definitely thinking outside of the box can be different ways to kind of to break in without this these tricks that kind of like put out there and like go do this for 2 months, go do this for 1 month, and you'll automatically have a job handed to you. Like that's not the reality. Sometimes it works. There are definitely exceptions, but I think sometimes you got to get really creative and think about like what you got to really define what breaking in tech means for you and what you're passionate about, because you may not want to be a coder or QA or you may want to be a product manager. You may want to be a salesperson that just sells tech. You're just passionate about tech, but you don't care about creating tech. Like figure out what it means to you before jumping just automatically like trying to live somebody else's dream and like, oh, I need to learn these technical skills because I just want to make more money. Like you're not going to be happy at the end of the day. If you don't like, programming, for instance, like the money will be nice, and you don't have to like what you do. Like I'm not saying that, because I know there's the whole consensus like, oh, you don't have to like what you do. It's just a job. It's not your whole life. But man, if you don't like what you do for 40 hours a week, like that's tough for me. Maybe some people can do it. It's like if I completely don't like what I do for 40 hours a week, that is draining. That like I gotta spend 40 hours a week doing something that I completely hate. Like I'm gonna try to find something else. But to each his own. And so then the final way is more traditionally what people are talking about when they say break into tech, and that is actually learning some technical skill professionally to get a like professional role, a professional technical role within like software development in that space, or IT, or something in the technical space as far as like being on like the research and development team at the company and getting the skills to be able to do that. So whether that's being a QA person, a programmer, a DevOps person, a developer advocate, even a product manager, because you definitely, depending on where you're at, depending on the role, you definitely will need some technical, at least knowledge and be able to understand it. So, that's kind of like the traditional path that everybody talk about. And that is a difficult path. I think all the paths are difficult, but that is one that is, I will not sugarcoat it. It's difficult to learn technical skills, just like it's difficult to learn anything else. And the farther you are away from it now, the harder it'll be. And the only way to get good at it is to practice. And I mean, one trick I would say, maybe it's not a trick, but finding the part of tech that, like I said earlier, that you're passionate about helps you stay motivated and helps you be, what's the word? Not diligent, but determined or dedicated to learning. Because there will be times when you are, up late after your normal job, whatever you're doing now, needing to study either for an interview or just plain learning to code, where you're not going to want to do it, or you're going to get stuck with something that is hard to learn. And whether it's coding or QAing or learning, AWS, or you trying to become, like a DevOps person or like solutions engineer or whatever, there's going to be times where you get stuck on stuff and you're just going to be completely annoyed, and you're going to need that motivation to push you through, or being passionate about what you're doing, or having something to grab onto. So whether you like to code or you like to do technical stuff or like to build projects or not, you need to find something. Like either it's because you're broke or because you just, want to make a career move. Your current job sucks. You hate it. Like you got to find something you can grab onto that's going to make you get up out of the bed or Netflix or whatever you're doing to keep learning, because it's a grind to learn anything in the technical space. It's a grind to learn anything at all, but in the technical space, it's definitely a grind, man. It's definitely a lot to consume and learn from just a foundational level. Like I even tell people when they ask me like how to learn how to code or how to learn how to do web apps, like you got to learn how the internet works first. Like how does a browser, when you type in something in the browser, what happens after that? Like what is coming to the browser? How is the browser rendering the page? What's the inner workings of that? Like how do network requests work? How do domains and IPs work? Like learning about that at a foundation. How do browsers work? Like Google Chrome, how does it work, and what role does it play in web development? It's a very powerful role. So like, it's a lot to learn. It can be overwhelming, but I promise that like no one's smarter than you. I mean, maybe some people are. I don't know. There's some like savants out there or something, but like no one. I think the imposter syndrome comes in, especially when you first start. That you feel like everybody's smarter than you and everybody's farther along than you. But really, I've been working in the industry for like 10 years now, and some of like the smartest or highest up people I've thought, they're just regular people that just have immense experience and practice, and they've been burned a lot of times that help them learn. And at the end of the day, like what they understand may seem like you can't understand it, but there's things you understand at a deep level that they can't, and it's just they've had the experience and time to do it. And I try to approach everything like that. Like when I feel like I start feeling that imposter syndrome, like I can't learn something, and I'm like, man, they learned it, and I don't think I ever could. I kind of like have to back off of that and say like, hey, I can learn this too. They're not like immensely smarter than me. I just haven't taken the time or dedication to learn it, or I haven't been put in a position in my company to automatically learn it. So I try to take it from that perspective. But yeah, like that's pretty much my whole spiel on like breaking into tech. I felt like I had to get on a soapbox and like let that out about like the misconceptions of breaking into tech and like how there are different ways to break into tech more than just trying to learn a technical trade. So I appreciate all y'all joining, man.